I remember thinking this could be what we've dreamt of for years, a place where all the nonprofits could live in the same building, so it's kind of a one-stop shop for clientele. We were able to connect with the DeCamp Family Foundation, who made a grant to us from their private family foundation so that we could purchase the building and not have any debt at all. That was the creation and the beginning of the Barry Community Enrichment Center. I'm Bonnie Geddes. I am the president and CEO of the Barry Community Foundation. During the financial collapse of 2008, we were living at Main Street Savings Bank on the second floor when they no longer were able to survive on their own and they were purchased by Commercial Bank. Commercial Bank made the decision that it would be really an important thing for them to make the footprint of their building smaller so that it was more manageable for them and that they didn't have any tenants. We started just kind of looking around the community, trying to figure out what we wanted to be if we purchased a building. Would that make sense? Did we want to continue to rent? We looked at several different buildings, one of them actually being the lower level of Ace Hardware. We determined, based on some input from some of our board members, that we didn't want to live in a space that didn't have windows so that we couldn't see the weather or we couldn't be visible. And it was important to us to think about legacy. And when I was contacted by the pastor at the First Presbyterian Church to come and do a tour of this building, I remember thinking, this could be what we've dreamt of for years.
I'm Jennifer Haywood, or Jenny Haywood. I'm the Vice Chair of the Barry Community Foundation Board of Directors. I attended church here as a kid. I remember playing hide and seek in the church, so I know all of the little nooks and crannies of the building. In around 2000, the church decided to build a new building on the north side of town toward Middleville. And to be honest, I was really disappointed because I loved this building and I loved that it was in the center of the community. The building for me is a great example of how things work out sometimes better than you ever expected them to work out. Because the church was moving to its new location outside of the town, this building became available. And some thought that it could be a parking lot, but some thought that it could be a lot more. That it could be a home for BCF and it could also be a home for other nonprofits, kind of a hub to support our community. Because of the vision and generosity of some of our community members, we were able to take this building and turn it into the Barry Community Enrichment Center. It worked out the way it should. The Presbyterian Church has a beautiful building on the north side of town with a terrific area for its preschool, and our whole community has this building, a building that supports our local charitable organizations.
My name is Annie Holly, and I am the Vice President of Operations here at the Barry Community Foundation. We have 10 nonprofits that live in our building, anyone from United Way all the way to the Thornapple Players, the Arts Council, CASA, Humane Society, Veterans Affairs is also housed here. Those are the people that are here that live here, but we serve nonprofits throughout our entire community with giving them access to our hall and our kitchen, as well as our performing arts center, should they need to use facilities in order to either spread the word about what they're doing or raise money for their organizations or to have community events.
There are some incredible partners of the building. United Way stands out for me just in the fact that they really view their space as their space, and they're continually doing things to make it more livable, more warm and inviting for their clientele, and continuing to think about how they as a partner can help make the organization run in a much smoother way.
I'm Lanny Forbes with Barry County United Way, and I'm the Executive Director. So Barry County United Way was fortunate that we were asked initially to come into this building when the whole conception came about. When we got here, I always say there's those moments that happen that you can't make happen, but they just do. When we had just moved in here, the location that we were using previously for the Fresh Food Initiative was not going to be available anymore. And so one of my board members happens to go to church at Green Street and asked him if that would be a possibility. And ever since, we have held the Fresh Food Initiative right across the street. So it's very convenient for people if they're in need of other services. They're across the street getting the fresh food, but then if they need to connect with us with a housing issue, with a utility issue, with a Veterans Affairs issue, they just have to come right across the street to make that connection.
I love that BCEC is a nonprofit. So that means that we're not trying to make money off of the rent. We're not trying to make a profit here. We're here to support the organizations that are in the building. We need to stay sustainable, so we do charge rent, but it's reduced. And this reduced rent allows the organizations in the building to put more money back into their programming and into their organizations, which benefits everybody in the community.
This building is a very, very special building. We are one of the first buildings throughout the United States that have really consolidated all of our nonprofit communities in one building. So not only do we have basic need nonprofits, but we also have those that foster other things, such as the arts, from our culinary arts program that we partner with the school to the theater. So we allow individuals in our community to experience culture.
One of my favorite things about the space is when we have youth theater in the summer and having the kids roaming the halls and laughing and hearing the really positive utilization of the space. So one of the challenges is the maintenance and the improvements that need to continually be made so that the space is safe and comfortable for all that utilize the building. So we have an administrative endowment that we hold for the building because it costs quite a pretty penny just to heat the building in the winter. There's also other utility costs that come with it that we really need to make sure that we have that savings account to take care of us long term. If you're feeling like you would like to invest in the fund that helps support the organization, we would greatly appreciate that. We don't do fundraisers every year. We do totally different type of fund development, and part of that is creating these savings accounts that will forever support the work that we're all able to do.
We do not have the sustainability in order for this building to stay with its doors open forever, and that's exactly where we'd like to be. So the BCEC has two funds. One is the operational fund, and the other is our basic fund, which is our endowment. So donations should be sent to our endowment fund.
My hope is that this building is here for generations into the future and that we can continue to support all of our local organizations and residents that use this building.
One other great attribute of the building is it allows for collaboration amongst our nonprofits, not only that house in the building, but also those within our community. We have tried to help other funds and people that have interest in pursuing certain types of charitable giving, allowing them the space and the technology that we have here in order to help them meet their own missions.
I think my favorite thing about having this building is the symbolism of neutrality. The people that live here and work out of this space are people that have the best interest of community in their heart and in their mission.
I love being in this space because of the way that it serves the community. And the fact that we're right downtown, it's very walkable, and so we're able to better meet the needs of a lot of people because of the walkability and the location of our facility. So we will forever be grateful to the DeCamp Foundation and the DeCamps for purchasing this building and making this possible.